good, man? It's your man, Mr. Cheech. We fam in the building. You know what we doing right about now. We rocking out and we breaking records. Radio, baby. Let's do it.
Hey yo, it's your boy Monster Man Rocco.
It's your boy Swagger Rock.
This is Snack the Ripper.
Hey, you rap for those who don't know.
This is Master Ace. You are now rocking with the best. Breaking Records Radio.
Breaking Records, man.
Breaking Records Radio.
Breaking Records Radio.
Breaking Records.
Breaking Records.
Breaking Records Radio. Let's go.
Breaking Records Radio.
Press 5 now, you check Breaking Records Radio.
Breaking Records, man. Radio is like the place to be. I don't fuck strange music, man.
Breaking Records Radio and the place to be. You know what it is. Your host Maloney, and I got hip hop royalty on the phone with me right now, man. This guy's a legend in the game. I don't even know. It's too hard to give an introduction to this man, you know. But I got Mr. Cheeks. I got Mr. Cheeks of the Lost Boys on the phone with me, man. How are you doing, Cheeks?
Yes, sir. Everything's good, baby. Everything cool. Yeah. Besides the situation, everything else is good, gravy. Let's go.
Yeah, man. Yeah. How's where are you? Are you still in New York right now, or?
No, I'm out in Georgia.
How's the COVID thing been down there? I know New York got hit really bad with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same as everywhere. I mean, just gotta be safe out this motherfucker, basically. So I just take it like it is everywhere. The shit is some ill virus. So it's all fucked up. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm just playing it safe, basically. You know what I mean? Staying out the way, keep it clean, and just doing what it do. Staying normal, but still being aware of the situation. No question.
Yeah, definitely. And you guys usually do Freaky Todd Day in May, don't you?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
May
So
14th.
have you guys had to postpone that this year?
I think we just gonna go online and just party, I guess, for the God this year. Because it's gonna be certain things, gatherings, I guess. I mean, not like crazy, but I guess I'm gonna have to join the party from the internet with the rest of the people. You know what I mean? I don't know. We still gonna party. Had the DJ do what he do for the birthday. For the Freaky Todd Day, and that's what it's gonna be. You know?
Yeah.
Word.
Dope, man. Yeah. It's unfortunate, with all the artists and stuff, just, this thing's hit hard because, I think a lot of times, we've never really dealt with anything like this. So a lot of artists never really, thought twice about, what if they can't tour? What if they can't do shows? You know what I mean? And, then this happens.
No
it's
doubt about it.
Pardon?
I said, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Never thought about that shit.
Yeah, it's crazy. A lot of artists, this hurting a lot of artists. So, hopefully this, the curve can kind of flatten out soon. Everything can kind of go back to normal. And, I've talked to numerous artists who've had to reroute tours or completely cancel tours, up to 30 dates.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. But, you got the new Lost Boys albums out. You guys put out the Legacy album a little earlier this year, right?
Yeah, he put out the Legacy album. We also got the Grand Scheme album. We put 2 albums out.
Yeah, and the Grand Scheme just came out, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, I love both projects, man. The Legacy album, I want to start with that because that came out first, right?
All right.
But
no, that ain't come out first. The Grand Scheme came out first. But
oh, did it?
Came out second. It's all good.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Okay. My bad. Well, we'll start with the Grand Scheme thing then. But so,
what?
First off, I love the Music Makes Me High too. Music Makes Me High remix is always one of my favorite songs of your guys's, man. I love that joint. I like how you guys got Keith Murray in for the part 2. What was kind of the process going into that, making that record?
Oh man, going into that process, it was me and Keith was in the studio just listening to the tracks at my man Coolaroo house. And I made the first draft. But when he came through, I was like, yo, I need you on this shit. And that's how it happened. You know what I'm saying? We were vibing out, and I was like, listen to this joint. Next thing you know, my man Keith Murray's popping off. We rocking out. That's all it was. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't really hard going because my boy, I hang out with my man Keith Murray all the time, so it ain't really nice. We just in the studio and just vibed out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's dope.
Hell yeah.
That's dope.
So it's just regular. It was just regular hang out situation, smoke some trees, just sip a little bit, and music playing, and we just did our thing. That's what it was. Really.
And like, did you consciously go into it trying to make a like Music Makes Me High Part 2, or did it just kind of come out like that and that was the vibe?
No, it just came out like that.
Oh, nice.
Came out like that. Facts.
Dope. I'm actually curious too. Like, what about the original Music Makes Me High remix with Corrupt and Canibus? Was that when you guys did that record? Did you guys all do it in the studio together, or did like Corrupt send his stuff over from LA and stuff, or were you guys all vibing together when you made that?
No, it was out in LA, and we did a video, and we all did the video together in LA. But we did the separate track. We sent them the track from New York down there.
Okay.
Bing, they banged it out. Yeah.
So I was gonna say the energy in the studio that day. If you had freaking Canibus and Corrupt in there eating that shit like that, bro, that would have been crazy energy in the studio.
Crazy. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's a crazy record, man. I love that. Canibus fucking goes off on that. Corrupt goes off on that. Man, that shit's classic.
Appreciate it, man. Yo, Canibus, one of the ill lyricists, man. You know, he killed that. You know what else record he killed? He killed that Beast from the East.
Yeah, with Redman and A+.
What? That nigga bodied that shit.
Yeah.
Crazy.
How did you and Canibus first like link up to? Because yeah, you guys have a few records together.
Yeah, I mean, we used to kick it back down in Atlanta back in over like 15 years, 20 years ago out in Atlanta, Stone Mountain, and he used to take us to like our little studio sessions or whatever, and meet up with our management and all of that. He just caught on to the vibe when we was vibing, you know. Once you get around some more sport niggas, man, it should be changing sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like, you just go to a different zone when you go around some boys. So I guess he just picked up his pen and started going in, and he was a talent. You know what I'm saying? And we brought that talent out of that nigga, like, because he probably didn't even know he had anything like that. Because he was hanging around Creepy Tie and all that shit, so, you know, the energy just there. So I guess he just picked up on what we were doing, and he just joined the family and we banged up. So we made a few tracks and all of that, and he's where he's at now, doing what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? So,
were you guys the first ones to put Canibus on a track?
Hell yeah. We brought Canibus into the game.
Oh, wow. I didn't even realize that.
Hell yeah. Not Wyclef, not none of that. Those boys brought Canibus into the game. He was down with the group on management. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Because, yeah, you know, because I'm a little bit younger, right? So I'm 30. So all my research in hip-hop, you know, over the years is me going back and, you know, learning about the game, right? And learning the industry and learning the history. But I guess that's a timeline I never really, like, you know what I mean? Not until you were just talking did I actually put two and two together. I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, these collabs were before Wyclef and shit. And you're saying that. I'm like, shit, yeah. Like, I never realized that you guys brought... That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's crazy, man. You know, to be able to, you know, that's dope. Because Canibus he is a raw talent that, you know, like there are no other MCs like Canibus. That's crazy dope that you guys were able to give him the opportunity and the platform.
No doubt about it. Canibus is one of the names you hear when you hear Canibus name, you know that nigga got fire. You know he got drugs with his lyrics. So,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's good to know. That's good to be a part of his growth and all that, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely popping.
Yeah, you guys kind of threw him into the lion's den on the first record too, eh? Put him on with Redman and shit, like.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just to touch your skills. I mean, you got to go in, right?
Yeah.
Opportunity knock, you answer the door, you know?
Yeah.
There you go.
That's dope, man. Did you and Keith Murray do the track battle yet?
Nah, this Sunday coming up.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Fun with each other's joints, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, dope. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Because you guys both got a dope solo catalog, but you guys got your group ventures too. Like you got the Lost Boys shit, he's got the Def Squad shit. Like that.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, that's gonna be wild, man. And then plus collabs you guys got too. Like I'm not even gonna say no more because I'll let you guys bring the secret weapons out and stuff. But that's gonna be wild.
No doubt.
I could already see that shit going wild, bro.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah. What time is it on Saturday? Or you said Saturday, right? Or Sunday?
7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Sunday,
Saturday?
7 p.m.
All right, dope.
7 p.m. Sunday.
Sunday. Okay.
Look out the window.
Dope.
Yeah,
Dope.
Sunday.
Looking forward to that, man. That's real dope. And so,
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
and I was curious too, because you've had a successful career as a solo artist, and I know like the original Lost Boys clique, like obviously Ta, rest in peace, and Spig Nice locked up and stuff. Like what
Pretty new down the block.
yeah. What caused what was the thought, like the process going into making the new music but doing it under the Lost Boys name? Because I know you got Freaky Kyle in there, right?
Yeah, my nephew Freaky Kyle's on there. Casey Christ on there. Well, I told them niggas, like, it wasn't really supposed to be the Lost Boy album, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, nigga Casey got a little out of hand with the venture. He made a record with us, just took it out of proportion, like Lost Boy. I'm like, nigga, you're not no Lost Boy. You understand? But that's a fact. That's just straight facts. Nigga, you're not no Lost Boy. You made a record with me and Freaky Kyle. Now nigga running around and just ODing. So I'm gonna let it ride. You know what I'm saying? Cause we made a good album and all of that. It's an EP. It's popping. Legacy is definitely got some good tracks on there and all of that. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, but it's definitely not no Lost Boys. I mean, it's there now. I'm gonna just let it ride. It's a part of the Lost Boy brand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was naming the LB fan the Legacy. But some people want to go over shit and do extra shit. So that's where that landed at. But overall, just the original Lost Boys is me, Freaky Kyle, Pretty Nice and Pretty New. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I did the jump on. I jumped on there and did the favor with my nephew. Really, you know what I'm saying? Freaky Kyle, he got a chance to get a little budget, the situation going down. So I just, you know what I'm saying? I put my blessings to it. So I know they're gonna make a Lost Boy album. So you know what I mean? Like niggas need to. I'm glad I got a chance to explain that because niggas be buzzing bullshit. So that's what that is.
Oh, that's crazy. So you didn't even go into it knowing that's what was about to happen with it.
Nah.
Okay.
Niggas be trying to do their shit, but you know what I mean?
But you made good music out of it.
We made the record. It's a good album. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's all good.
And that's the thing. As long as the music's good and you're happy putting it under, you're happy enough with the product to, allow it to be part of the brand overall, then that's all that matters, man. You're keeping the flag high.
That's all.
Yeah, man. I love that song on Legacy, Brother. That shit is fucking dope, man.
Yeah, Brother's dope. That shit is like it's like a 2-5 beat type shit. You know what I'm saying? Some West Coast shit. I like that shit real hard.
Yeah, man. It definitely has like an LB vibe to it too. Like, and that Skull Snaps drum break. That fucking, those drums just punch hard, man. And yeah, I love that joint.
Yeah. Shit is hard. The album is dope. Legacy is a dope ass album.
Yeah. No, they're super dope, man. And do you guys have like hard copies and everything available, or are you just doing it all online nowadays?
No, I think we're gonna get we're getting the vinyls and all that. We're getting the, like, we're taking it back to the vinyls and the motherfuckers sets of her. Cause they got these distribution companies that be doing, they be making the vinyls and all that. So yeah, we're gonna have all of that.
Dope.
Like back in the days, if you got a CD player, you could play that shit on that.
Dope. That's super dope. That's one thing a lot of artists don't do enough anymore is that, a lot of artists just put stuff out online and it's cool, but like me, like I'm a collector, so I like to, you know what I mean? Like I like to have everybody's album.
Crack it open.
Yeah.
Like read the credits and shit. I miss those days,
Yeah, well that's the problem nowadays. Spotify doesn't even tell you who produced a record. So it's like I'm listening to someone's album and I'm like, I'm like, yo, this joint's hot. Who produced this? Who produced this? And you can't even like look it up. You have to like try to research it online, and sometimes you can't even find the info.
Crazy. Can't even get the shout outs no more in the back of the album. None of that shit.
Yeah, it's wild, man. I think, Spotify at least, in the streaming platform should at least put the main credits on their shit, producer and stuff. That's a big credit. There's no record without the producer, so I don't know how they don't feel that's a necessary credit, but.
And new thing they be doing, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll be on my Instagram promoting it hard body.
Yeah.
So, giving the producers the love, Mad Beats, Cooler, Ruler. Oh man, that legacy, I don't even know the producers on the legacy, but them niggas is hard. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so you don't even know offhand, you don't know offhand who did Brother then, eh?
None of that. I don't know none of that. All I know is I got the file, I banged out, sent it back, they sent it back crispy.
Yeah.
That was a done deal.
Oh yeah, that beat's super dope, man. But speaking of beats too, one of your first the first song I got familiar with you guys with was Lex Coop's Beamers and Benz. That's just absolute classic right there. And
yeah, that was a dope joint.
I know Easy Mo B did that, and I know you went on to work with him when you did your solo album, and he produced a few other records for you guys too. I was just curious, what the relation with you guys and Easy Mo B was, how you guys kind of got together originally.
Oh, well, we got together. Well, back in the day, he used to send beats to the Universal or whatever, and Tim Dog used to not PR, A&R for us or whatever.
Yeah.
So he would get the music and play it for us in the joint. Tell us yo, you should get on some joints, give us some advice or whatever. And we heard some Easy Mo joints. He was like, yeah, this is a new nigga right here. I mean, Easy Mo been doing his thing, but we ain't never, certain tracks that the niggas turned down, like Craig Mack turned down, I think Lex Coop Beaners and Benz. You know what I'm saying? He turned down that track. So that was crazy. I never knew that. So when I found out that thing, I found out years later, but when we got in the studio, when we started vibing with Easy Mo B, man, that was just a brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? It was the same vibe. So, you know what I mean? We go on the same page of life and shit, I guess, and we just connected. You know what I mean? So we just continue to be friends now. Still make music. Got a new record. Me, Little Dat from Greek Home, and my little brother, Style Boulevard, got a joint called What We Do. You know what I'm saying? Produced by Easy Mo, coming out this summer.
Woo!
We just rocking. Word up. We just rocking and rolling, cousin. We still busy. Easy Mo B.
Yes, that's what I like to hear, because that's actually what I was going to ask next, if you guys had any new music, because, one thing, in hip-hop history, you have your greats, you have your legends, but a producer, I feel like, does not get the props he deserves is Easy Mo B, man. He's responsible for a whole he's responsible for the whole, a whole pocket of sound on the East Coast from, 92 to, fucking 95, you know what I mean?
No doubt.
So many Biggie classics,
they don't give him his credit. They give all the other names they credit to do a record with Mariah Carey, so all of a sudden they the best producer in the world. This nigga been doing joints for people all day.
Yeah.
It takes time, and it take time for people to recognize, though, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Those that know, they give him his love right now and know that he's popular, and he's been doing that shit and changing niggas' lives and shit for music, so.
And the way
he don't get as much love. He don't get that much shine as he should, because he probably he's just flying under the radar kind of guy too. So he ain't really out there looking for that. Yo, I'm the, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
It's just like he just lives and does what he does. You know?
Yeah, it just lets the resume speak for itself, kind of thing.
Yeah, shit like that.
He's got, man, his resume is crazy, though, the Pac records, your guys' records, and everything he produced for anybody, you know what I mean? Damn near always ended up being the single. Biggie, yeah. And it was always though they were street records and they were they were gutter, raw, good boom bap hip hop beats, but they always turned out to be the singles, you know what I mean? Because they just had such a bop to them. You know what I mean? He's just...
No doubt.
He's so undercredited. The way he flipped the Eric Sermon on the Tupac Temptations and shit like that is just what?
Crazy.
Yeah, man.
Word of mother.
Yeah, so I'm glad to hear that you guys got some new music coming out, because he's a producer I always, anytime I see his name, it's not often I see new music from him, but when I do, I'm like, oh, I gotta hear this.
No question.
Yeah,
no
man,
question.
That's dope. That's dope. When can we expect that joint? The one with you, Lil Dap, you said summertime?
Yeah, July.
Okay, dope.
You know what I'm saying? It's hard to shoot videos and shit right now. So
Yeah.
It's like, I'm just chilling and shit till we can get it going.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's, a lot of artists, aside from what we were talking about with like touring and stuff, just artists' whole rollout plans are getting fucked up by this, because they can't even go out and do the stuff they need to do. The media runs, at least you could do media runs from your phone.
We've been around each other since time began. Like, what the fuck? The virus, like, you can't be around motherfuckers? Like, what the fuck? I can't understand that shit, but you're gonna get through that shit they say, so I'm saying let's get through it. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. R.I.P. to all those that fall into this shit, you know what I'm saying? My man Fred the Godson, a few other cats that I knew in my neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? Well, not my neighborhood, but back in New York and shit. But goddamn, man, anywhere around the world, it's painful right now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Motherfuckers, they did some shit they can't control.
Yeah, man. It's fucked up. Like, I've never, you know what I mean? There's been a lot of dangerous shit in my life, and, even more dangerous shit in your life, man, and it's just as crazy to think that, like, something like this is what it took for them to tell people to stay inside and shit. It's like, really? Like, you know how much shit... Like, I can only imagine the shit that you've seen growing up in Queens, you know what I mean? Southside Queens, you're like, really? This is what I gotta stay inside over?
Or the mother's crazy.
And actually, speaking of Queens too, right? You guys were the ones who really put Southside Queens on the map too, eh?
Oh, that's a hashtag capital letters facts. Yeah, I understand. Lost Boyz represent South Jamaica, Queens, hard body. Everybody knows that, though.
Yeah.
That just Queens is Lost Boyz. I mean, there's many a group, many people, many a crews and all of that out there. But trust me, a lot of them is part of the family. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what
Definitely.
Like watching things like your Unsung and stuff. I can't remember who said it, but he's like, I can't remember if he was a manager of one of the group members said it, but they're like, oh, you go to Queens? They're like, there's at least 1,000 motherfuckers with LB fam tattooed on them.
That's a fact. Anywhere you go in Queens, if you're an L, you're going to get that salute. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is, man. I mean, this is way before music, so.
Yeah.
And it's just our life and shit. Lost Boyz, love and loyalty, holding down the family, doing what you're doing, take care of your business. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it is,
And were you guys like all kind of a clique too before before you guys took off in the music shit too? Like, did you guys have a huge family like that prior to, or did that kind of?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's what it was. That's how it started. You know what I'm saying? We used to 50 deep on Jamaica Avenue in front of Coliseum. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, real shit.
That's wild.
Everywhere we go, party we go, we 30 deep. Go to bowling alley, bowling, we 30 deep. Go roller skating, we held up. The young guns, we just was there. You know what I'm saying?
So it's kind of like the MOP thing too, where like Dan's and Fame, they came from the posse, but they came out with that as their name to represent. You guys kind of did the same thing, like took the name of your guys' clique just to represent. Dope.
Yep.
That's super dope.
Musically, had to do something besides just cracking skulls and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it was all good. Having fun as youngsters, doing our thing. But yeah, man. We like making music and shit. We used to go to all the park jams, battling niggas on the mic. That's where you really started out, when you could go out to the parks, grab a mic. It was DJ. Grandmaster Rick was like, he is still from Queens, like the best blend master. Excuse me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, once you go rock with G&V, you think you made a record. Once you go to the park jam, you rocking on the mic, Grandmaster Dick, Spank G, Dada Rob, None Fame, Tape Master, and all the names like that. I mean, I was a star before I was a star, coming just, feeling like a star in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
With the lyric game, and we making records, and we doing little here and there performances, you know. So it was fun. I mean, where we at now is beautiful. But the beginning of the run was beautiful too. The good and the bad, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And coming up in Queens too, like you're talking about doing the park jams and stuff like that. I'm curious, like, you know, because a lot of talent, after you guys set Southside Queens on the map, you know, a lot of talent came out of there. I was curious, like, did you ever, in the park jam days, battle anybody who ended up becoming, like, a big artist as well, too? Like, is there anyone that you battled back in those days who's, like, popping now or doing their, you know what I mean?
I wasn't the Federal Star, Onyx, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, shit.
Battling, we was all part of the same crew coming up, you know what I'm saying, growing up in Queens, but Federal Star, we used to rock out, Fight Dog, you know what I'm saying? Who else? Well, I mean, like, it's mad names I can't recall, but it's some names that didn't even make it to the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, we've been rocking. We had to go to their neighborhoods to rock out. You know what I'm saying? Me, Havoc, Prodigy, you know what I mean? We used to all rock out. But, yeah, man, it wasn't no battle. Them niggas, I'm talking about niggas that come from Brooklyn and all that. Well, come, whatever. But whoever's on the mic, just giving them the business. You know, he had our little crews and all that shit.
Oh,
that would be having, like, going at niggas, you know what I'm saying? All day.
Yeah. Man, what a beautiful time to be alive, man. You know what I mean? Like, to be able to, like, you guys, you know, coming up in that time, you guys seen all of, like, you know, the greatest talent hip-hop has ever really provided us. You know what I mean? Like, all in, like, the same circles and stuff, and you guys all kind of came up together. Like, you know what I mean? It's really, like, mind-blowing, actually. Like, if you think about it and you look back at, like, you know, the connections and just, you know, how all... just, you know, like the whole 90s hip-hop from New York, like that whole era is like, you know.
Hell yeah, man. Even the R&B singing chicks and all of that.
Yeah.
Crazy. R&B niggas, album stuff, Chief, Sweat, all that type shit was crazy ever. You know what's really crazy to me, though? Cause like, I be talking to niggas, some dudes that tell me how they appreciate what I do for them. I'm like, yo, I'm the nigga that was looking at, you know what I'm saying, MTV, you know what I'm saying, or what was that shit, 90s, whatever, the jams, videos, whatever. And I was looking at Heavy D and Salt and Pepper and all of that. Next thing you know, I'm getting Heavy D signed me, you know what I'm saying, to Universal Records. So, shit is crazy how the game is, right?
Yeah, actually, and it's funny you said that too, because I did want to ask about that, because you did mention before, I think you said it in the Vlad interview, but you guys just kind of skimmed over it, but you said, you're like, yeah, shout outs to, Heavy D for signing me, and then Andre Herrera. But I wanted to kind of talk a little bit more in depthly on that. Like, so how did the whole thing happen where D found you guys?
We was out in Virginia, and we bumped into my man Tindall, like I said, Tindall from Butt Naked, Tim Patterson. Not the Tindall from the Bronx, you know, but bumped into him, and you know, we was doing our thing. We was out in Virginia. Getting our shit together and all of that. We found that they was doing parties, you know, what they found doing parties. They was doing parties at the bridge and all that. We used to go there and grab the mic and bing bing. And my cousin owned a little. We went down to. Let me tell you, I got to Virginia. We got to Virginia on the strength of the Rump Shaker record. You know what I'm saying? We seen that video. We was like, yo, what the fuck is that at?
Yeah.
Virginia. We never seen that shit. We never seen Virginia. So we niggas drove down to Virginia. Got with a few, you know, shoot things and kill. Niggas heard we was Lost Boys and we was rapping and doing certain things. And then we teamed up with King Dog. We got a meeting in Universal. At the studios or whatever. And it was on from there, man. It was just on, man. I met Andre Herrera. I met, when I seen fucking Heavy D and the boys, they was walking through the fucking, like, the officers chilling and shit. So I was like, oh shit, I want to be like, yeah, I want to be like that. So,
yeah.
Man, it was my dream came true type shit. It's crazy.
It's actually, you know, and it's suiting too, because I never like really thought about it, but like, if you look at it, like, you know, Heavy D was like, you know, he made fun music, he made party music, you know what I mean? But he could spit, but it was like, you know, it was very like feel good, kind of like, you know, let's have fun music. And I never really thought of it, but like the Lost Boyz is kind of like the second coming of that, except with a bit more street flavor. You know what I mean? Like you guys kind of did that same thing. You had some think records and stuff, obviously, some deeper records, you know, like your Renee's and 1, 2, 3,000 Problems and shit like that. But you guys really had a real fun element to you guys. Kind of like, and now that I look back, it's kind of like, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Heavy D flavor too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Party and you party and you handle your business, I guess, you know? That's what it was. You try to do that kind of music. We were trying to make music like we was hearing the music, that good fun shit, you know what I'm saying? But we got to throw our hands and throw our hand music too, you know?
Yeah.
Shit like that.
And was that something you guys consciously did when going in the studio? Was like, yo, we want to make some, like, you know, some fun music, like some stuff people can dance to, or did it just kind of, you know, did everything just always come out naturally like that?
Tim Dog guided us on how to make more, like, not just in the hood music, because we used to make just street music, you know what I'm saying? But we party, though, because we always go to parties and do what we do. So we had a party, but he taught us how to make more like radio play music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he guided us like, well, you want to make music just for the hood, or you want to make music for the world? So he's like, yeah. So the world got ghettos everywhere too, right? So we can make some ghetto street, some smooth concrete shit. And that's how it came about. Man, we was always partying and take care and holding it down, but it came into a new light when you got a deal and you could do shit and, you know? What?
Yeah. And
that's what it was, man. It's fun, good times, man. Good times, man. Coming up in the night in the music game, it was fun.
Yeah, man. And you
fun
guys,
and dangerous, but you know,
definitely.
like it is now.
And you guys made timeless music in the '90s too, man. Like that shit, you know. Like you throw Lex Coops on at a party today, and that shit still go off. You know what I mean? The Yearn, I love the fucking Yearn, man. That shit's my jam.
I should be jumping.
That shit'll fuck. Oh man, that'll fuck a party up right now. You know what I mean?
That remix, I like the remix with Pete Rock. That shit is hard too, right?
Yeah, the Pete Rock remix. That shit is nuts.
Shit crazy, yo.
That shit's nuts. Did you guys approach him about doing the remix, or did he just kind of like flip it and like send it to you guys, kind of thing?
No, we was calling for that nigga.
Yeah.
We needed a soul brother. Fact. That nigga makes the ill beats and the lyric game is issue. So, and then CL Smooth, them niggas is the ill. So it was all good. We did. I got a chance to do Reminisce with CL Smooth and P-Rock on the album too, on the solo joint. Reminisce over here. Shit was crazy.
Yeah, man. There's nothing like a Pete Rock remix. Nobody makes a remix quite like Pete does.
Word of mother. You heard that remix song? Shut 'em down, P.E.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Remix by fucking Pete Rock. Pete Rock killed fucking Down with the King joint. Oh, that nigga was body and shit too. You understand?
That's the crazy shit, man. Like the legends, you know what I mean? That he almost reinvented Run DMC with Down with the King. Like that's like a whole new direction and sound for them. You know what I mean?
Mother, you said it right with the knot. That's definitely what he did. He changed. I was like, yo, that shit crazy.
Yeah. Like absolutely insane. And even like the Shut 'em down, like just the way that horn, and it's like
that nigga killed that shit.
Yeah, and you would never expect I would never expect to hear Public Enemy on a beat like that, but then Pete Rock made it, and fucking you're just like, yo, this is the best shit ever. Like,
hell yeah, he made that shit perfectly for them niggas. That was a crazy record.
Yeah. And that Yearn remix though is fucking crazy too though, man. Like that shit. Oh man. That gets me lit. Like if someone throws that shit on it and you know I've had a few drinks, I'm fucking jumping my ass up and down like fucking crazy, bro. That shit's fucking, that beat just knocks.
Bang. Hell yeah.
But what they
I'll be doing them shit at the show, so you already know.
that's a record right there, man. Another thing too I was curious about, like another big record you got, your solo joint, Lights, Camera, Action.
Yes, sir.
Huge record, another timeless record that seems to just transcend generations. But one thing I was curious about, because I've noticed this for the last few years, and I've always kind of wondered, like, if you were privy to it or if, like, you're getting a check from it or whatever, but have you ever noticed Hot 97, every time they have, like, discussions, they're playing your Lights, Camera, Action beat in the background for, like, 20 minutes at a time?
Yeah, I caught that one time. No doubt. One day, be sending me that shit.
Yeah.
He be sending me that.
Yeah.
I mean, ASCAP is on his job, so, I'm chilling. Got the, ASCAP tally it up every time it plays. Like, yeah,
So you get your bread off that then?
Oh, no question about it.
Dope. Yeah, because I've noticed, over the years, like it's like not during interviews, but like every time they're doing like their kind of the think pieces and they're all like discussing a topic, it's always that Lights, Camera, Action beat just on repeat in the background. I'm like, yo, that's like. That's crazy. That's got to be some good money if he's getting paid for that. That's like the regular soundtrack down there.
Well, that's different because, as an artist, you hear, when I was coming up here and shit like that, and I had a record that people were talking over. It'd be one of your favorite records. You're like, oh, shit. And then that shit turns out one day it's your record playing under the discussion. It's kind of cool, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's kind of dope.
Yeah. It's crazy, man, and it's like, but it's such a dope beat too, though, man. You know what I mean? Because it's like it's a party beat, but it can be a relaxed beat too. You know what I mean? Like it kind of fits both pockets perfectly. I mean, like the record's like 20 years old, or what, a little less than 20 years old now, but they're still using it on a daily basis. You know what I mean? So that speaks volumes to like what that song meant.
19 years old. That's crazy.
Yeah. That is crazy, man. I remember that music video. Like I remember watching that shit on like BET Countdown and shit like that. Like that's crazy. I can't believe that. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
But another thing I was curious about too, because you mentioned on the Vlad interview that you used to sleep on Biggie's couch and be part of the Junior Mafia street team.
Yeah.
I mean, you're like, well, we're part of the street team. You're like, I didn't know we were part of a street team at the time.
Yeah,
You're like,
I never know I was on the street team, but I guess after I got into the game and I seen that niggas on my street team was doing what I was doing, I was like, all right, fuck it, let's go. That's what it was.
Yeah.
But hey, it came a long way, man. My man was from fucking The Wire. Like, matter of fact, the lawyer from fucking Empire.
Yeah,
The first lawyer. That nigga used to be bad. He used to be working with me at University too before I got on. That nigga, he was mad. He was doing this thing too.
oh shit, eh?
Shit, that was crazy. We was all down together, like, working and shit. But yeah, when I was doing that Biggie shit, I noticed that one night when I went out to Philly with them. See, I was there when motherfucking, my man, D got the Harrison deal, but I wasn't down with them. I was down with some other cats that I was down with them. So, you know what I'm saying? We used to be around them a lot. And, that's some other shit too, because Puffy helped me get in the game a little bit too. He helped me get in the game, because I just stayed over with him and one of my boys over in Jersey and shit. And that's where I really got my start off, because going to Virginia and all that, been doing all. But yeah, I forgot you was asking. I done ran all out of town and shit. So what you was saying?
Yeah, sorry, I was just, I was connecting a different thought, actually with,
I lost my thought.
with what you're saying though, actually, I was curious, like, did that help you a lot, helping do the street team work with Biggie and stuff, when you, went on to, start doing Lost Boys, did that help you with things you were able to implement and kind of building your guys' brand and doing the street promotion and stuff like that?
Hell yeah. Remember that? Well, back in the day, they used to have mad functions like Jack the Rapper and shit like that. Some joint they used to have out in New Orleans, like a big musical fest, hip hop fest. Gavin, I think it was called. But that trained us all. It showed me a lot of what we gonna have to do. You know what I'm saying? Cause I'm from Queens, and niggas got me in New Orleans, and it's like, you seeing how niggas is promoting different ways and different how they do it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never been in New Orleans, but like, they was doing it out there. Crazy. Like, oh shit. Like, it was nuts. But, yeah, so it showed me a lot being around them niggas. Hell yeah. Gave me a lot of boost. You know what I'm saying? Facts.
That's when you just said that too, it made me think of something that I never really realized, but like, when you guys are doing that stuff, like spending time in New Orleans and stuff too, like, you guys are probably getting privy to like some of the music going on down there, like the bounce music and stuff like that too, right? Because like that stuff didn't have no mainstream attention at the time, so like it had to be pretty cool going into all these different cities and stuff and just seeing like the different sounds of hip hop that there were all over just America alone. You know what I mean? Like all these different regions had these different sounds and pockets and vibes. Like,
bird and mother, because from coming where you from, you think you like the only music popping, New York rap and shit, and you go out there, it's like, oh, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
There's another nigga doing what he doing, and he's battling crazy, and we like, why we ain't prepared to hear about this nigga or whatever, same way, so that's how I guess we branched over, because we in New Orleans, we meet everybody around the world, Texas and shit, when we was first going on the little run, so it was like, it was different. So you just wanted to, I guess, all that shit coming into an artist, you took all of that type of shit out.
Yeah.
And run with that shit and feel that shit with vibes, so you just put all the vibes together.
Yeah. I'm curious too, like, with your time with Biggie, like, what, do you have any, like, super funny memories of, like, the time you spent with Biggie?
I ain't a Biggie all the time, well, before you got a big, we used to do things, chill out, well, not chill out like that, but it used to be, like I said, I used to be around people that was around the video line, like, catch up with Big Girl. We both was the artists or whatever was going on, at the time. And, we blow it down. With that fucking, what's the first thing I'm seeing on? Shit, Nintendo C. It was like, not Nintendo, what did you say? Probably Nintendo, you could first play the game, and you could play music while you racing the car type shit. They was playing the raw sports shit. I mean, it was crazy. There's so much shit that went on before where I'm at now. You know what I'm saying? The story was crazy, but yeah, we couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? All day. We did the birthday party for that nigga. Yo, have you ever seen the birthday party we did? Down in Brooklyn, the really old dirty bastard, Lord Finesse. There's some footage out there, man. The birthday party was really, really getting into the game. Oh, man, it was just some fun days, man.
You guys did that? That was Biggie's birthday party you guys did?
Huh?
Did you say that was Biggie's birthday party you guys did?
Yeah, it was a Biggie birthday. First record came out, party of bullshit type shit.
Woo.
We did that motherfucking joint over there. We did it, blasted off in Brooklyn. It was crazy.
Oh, man, that'd be dope if there's video footage of that shit.
It is video footage.
Is it? Okay, dope. Okay, dope.
Get it started again.
That's the thing, man. So much, like, in the early hip-hop days, like, there's so much shit that happened where it's like, it's just too bad it wasn't being, like, like, well documented, like, like, videotaped and, like, shit like that. Because you look back now, like, at the time it was just a thing that was happening, right? But looking back now, you're like, man, that was just a room full of legends fucking vibing. You know what I mean? Like, back then it was just like, yeah, it's a birthday party. But, like, now you look back, it's like, whoa.
Hell yeah. This shit is crazy. Shit.
That's crazy. That's crazy, man, just to be able to come up through all that, and just witness it firsthand, you know what I mean? It's crazy. And, you don't realize at the time, like, well, you probably, but like, like that, this is all just legendary shit. You know what I mean? It's just kind of regular as it's happening. And then
we just rapping and we just rapping and throwing bars at each other and living.
Yeah.
And then that shit just became like, just incredible.
That's crazy, man. Another thing I did want to ask about too, because I've never really been able to find any like clarity on the situation, but like, what was the whole thing with you and 50 over to begin with? Like, I know that he sent the little shot at you on I'm So Hood or whatever, and then you responded with the running joint, but I never really like could figure out what like that was what it kind of stemmed from.
Where it stemmed from? I don't even know neither.
Oh shit.
I just responded and shit. You know what I'm saying? But that was a long time ago. Yeah, I don't know. She was coming out doing what he was doing. Yes, he threw a little bar at me. The ball lost. So he's whack now. So all right, fuck it. But you know, niggas, we boys. I mean, we're not boys, but we cool. You know what I'm saying? It's nice.
Yeah, like you guys have talked since then and shit, and you're all good.
Yeah, it's been nice. So just I guess a little bing bing. We just taking it, let's go.
Yeah.
But you know, it's always gonna be that.
Probably
But
because
everybody know Lost Boys is in the middle of an old day. You know?
yeah,
You don't hear no unit music. You hear Lost Boys music. You don't know. You can't know. I mean, you know, that's what we do.
yeah,
Lost Boys all day, every day. We mad. We everywhere. So we're gonna keep supplying the streets with the fire and just hanging out. Ding.
word up, man. And you know, one thing, you know, I won't take all your time. You know what I mean? But I do want to ask one more thing before I do let you go. Because I know you have a really deep connection with like the Marley family. Like you've worked with Damien and you've worked with a handful of them numerous times. I was just kind of curious, like, you know, because it would appear that you're pretty close with them. I was just kind of curious what that connection was.
Connection is that's family values right there. You know what I'm saying? We met family back in '97, and we just been connected since. You know what I'm saying? Well, just been connected since. Man, I just thought I got the phone Steve Marley yesterday. You know what I'm saying? We're waiting for this shit to clear out so I can drive down to Miami and make some more done. You know what I'm saying? That's what life is, man. The Marley family is, man, beautiful family, man, all around, everybody. You know what I'm saying? And working with them is what it is. Man, it's a blessing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they're all incredibly talented.
More about that shit. Huh?
I said, and just like just such a huge family of just incredible talent. You know what I mean? It's insane.
Word. That's to the Marley family. Uncle Bob, everybody, you already know.
Now, what
That's what it is, cuz.
I'd like to hear Mr. Cheeks and Damian Marley on an Easy Mo B beat.
So, yeah?
That would be wild.
I'm gonna make that happen. You just made something just about to come to reality.
Shit. That would be crazy, bro. I can't imagine the pockets you guys would find on that. That would be dope. That would be real dope.
I'm about to you already put this there. Now I'm stuck. You know, you stuck on something. Now I'm going to call my man Demo right after he gets the phone. I need a joint for me and Damian Marley. You just need a record.
Yes. That's dope, man. Well, Cheeks, man, you know, I appreciate your time so much, man. You know, thank you for, you know, taking the time to sit and chat with us, man. Love the two new projects. Let the people know before I let you go how they can get the two new Lost Boys albums, The Legacy and The Grand Scheme 1226.
Yes, sir. You get the Legacy, you get the Grand Scheme 1226 on all your outlets, all your what they call it, platforms. You get all that right there. If you want to check me out, I'm The Real Mr. Cheeks 132 on Instagram. The Real Mr. Cheeks 132 on the Twitter. And you already know Marvin Gaye on the Facebook. And that's how you get at me. You're just working. Ladies, you get the Cheeks Denim. Just look up the Cheeks Denim on my Instagram, too. I got the Cheeks Denim Instagram. Or you go to Black Box Fashion for all your Lost Boy wear and all your whatever you like. Just put your order if you see something you like. You already know. Let's go.
Dope, man. Thank you very much, Cheeks.
Appreciate you, brother. Stay strong, brother. See you in a minute.
Yeah, no doubt. And hey, if you get that Marley and Easy record done, you know, you got to send that through to us to premiere that.
Yeah, send me an email. They don't have that. Why?
All right.
That's gonna go down.
All right.
I'm about to get. So I ain't got what you. I'm calling Easy Mo B. I'm about to get the nigga to get going now. Crazy. Just brought up an ill idea, kid.
Yo, now you got me hyped,
I'll give
bro.
you credit. I'll give you your credit when I get done with it.
Hey, now you got me hyped, G.